Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, this is the Coast to Coast Radio Show. I'm your host, Ron Fitch. And today we're going to talk about the beatdowns that have occurred in the NBA playoffs by Golden State and Cleveland. And this really, really, really bad beatdown that Cleveland gave Boston. And I was wrong. I thought Boston would get a game and then Cleveland would obliterate them. But Cleveland said, nah, we're not going to let up. Let's just go out here, take care of business, and destroy the Celtics and do what we're supposed to do. And they did. They blew them out in game one. And game two, I'm watching the game, and LeBron James is coming down court. It's 14-10. And he passes the ball to the left elbow to Kevin Love. He hits a 3-point shot. And it's 17-10. And in my mind, I said, this game's over. It was about 5-6 minutes into the first quarter. And I said, this game's over. Because I could hear the crowd groan, the Celtic crowd. And you can see it in there. Some of the guys like, we're gonna get destroyed. And they came out there and annihilated them. And LeBron James hit 4 3-pointers in the game. He had his usual 30 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks and steals. And he only had 1 turnover. He was a plus 46 as far as his rating. His usual terrific self. But what made this 130-86 beatdown, 44-point beatdown, so bad, they were up 41 points at the half in Boston. I probably would have gotten in the car and drove home. I turned it to the Yankee game. The Yankees had lost. And then I was checking out some of the Pittsburgh Penguins game. They tied their series up against Ottawa. I'm hoping that the Penguins can repeat somehow. I admire greatness in teams that win multiple championships like the Penguins have for the last 20 years. They've been really good. So I enjoyed that. But back to the Cavaliers, Love is the key because he's really been giving it to Boston. And maybe it's a little bit of a revenge factor. He's extra motivated because his shoulder got messed up by Olynyk 2 years ago, and he had 21 points and 12 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. If you give offensive rebounds to a high-octane scoring team like the Cavaliers, you're going to get beat. And you're going to get beat by 30 to 40 and maybe even 50 points. And Kyrie was his usual good stuff. But what's helping them is the stabilization of their bench getting Deron Williams, who doesn't really – the pressure's off him. So he could play really well. He had 6 assists. That helps the bench. And then everybody's going to score. When you're up 40, you could have put LeBron James' children in the game. And, of course, they're going to destroy him. And something that I've always watched this guy since his high school days, and I covered his high school games when he played against Carmelo, against Oak Hill Academy, when he was at St. Mary, St. Vincent. LeBron James, there's one trait about him, and it's just like it's an all-time great and an all-time great like Karl Malone, because he has a little of different guys in him. And the Karl Malone characteristic in him is he smells fear. He loves to mop up inferior opponents and destroy them and walk over them and kind of give them a smile in a bullying kind of way because he's a big, strong guy with great talent and great athleticism. And he loves to smell fear. And once he knows that team knows in their heart they can beat him, he pounces all over them. And you see large margin of victories. And he's only the East. He's terrorized the Eastern Conference. And there's no really great teams in the Eastern Conference. He ain't got to beat Isaiah. And he ain't got to beat the Mason and Ewing and those guys. He ain't got to beat Bird or Ewing. He's got nothing really. Nothing. The last 2 years has just been inferior teams with decent pieces with a star here and a star there. But he doesn't have to go up against a Kevin Durant, or he has to go up against Duncan and Ginobili. He doesn't have to really worry about that. So he can just steamroll. And I'm seeing reports, this is the greatest I've ever seen. It's a great margin of victory. Yes, you're going through. Teams have gone undefeated and gone on to the finals. Lakers did it. It's been done before, and they lost one game with 15-1, I believe, and have won the title. So, I mean, it's been done before, but now you're going to run into some competition when the finals. And that's going to be Golden State, I believe, because Golden State, there's going to be pressure on Golden State because of the fact that they know the Cavaliers are going to sweep. I expect 40 and 50-point wins in Cleveland. I don't think they're going to let up. I think Boston knows in their heart that, you're going to Cleveland on a road trip just to be roadkill for the Cavaliers. That's all you are at this point in time. There's no use in thinking anything else at this point in time. So now the Golden State Warriors have pressure on them. They got to play now. They have to play. You got to get at least a game in San Antonio if you can try to sweep them, because they know by Tuesday Cleveland will be preparing for the finals after their destruction of Boston Tuesday, and they can start preparing for the Golden State Warriors. And Golden State knows that they got to get San Antonio out of there. And San Antonio, I mean, if Leonard doesn't get hurt, this is a battle royale. And this is a 7-game series where Golden State's fighting for their lives like they did last year. But it's not going to be like last year. I think Golden State with Kevin Durant, they find a way to steal a game in San Antonio and then and they'll be in a position to get them out in 5. So the rest won't be a problem, I believe. It's not going to be easy. Even without Leonard, San Antonio is a proud organization. They've been there, done that. They're not going to be intimidated by being down 0-2. Pop will have them fired up. Pop purposely let them get beat worse than they did. They got destroyed. And Pop purposely just let it happen without calling a lot of timeouts. So if you take that film, put that film in there, show those players, get them fired up, that crowd will be fired up, and they'll be ready to go tonight. And then, hey, better come to play. Better come to play if you're Golden State. It's not going to be like the Cavaliers, where the Cavaliers get that quick lead and Boston folds like an accordion. Now, going back to the Celtics series, Isaiah Thomas hasn't been great. And he was great the last series. He had 2 points. He might be slowing down. 0 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2. He just nothing. And that's sad. But going back to Golden State and San Antonio, they're going to have to play. And what I need to see out of Golden State, if they have any chance of beating the Cavaliers, is I got to see Klay Thompson. I saw him hit some shots. He's got to hit every single open shot. They have to get him incorporated with Durant and Curry. Durant and Curry are fine. They're going to get there for him. The way their system's set up, Steve Kerr's system set up, because he's there, even though he's not sitting on the bench. Him and Mike Brown are in concert running their system. Draymond Green's going to get his points. He's going to do what he does with passing and rebounding and playing defense. Klay Thompson has to get going. Even every once in a while, drive to the basket to get easy baskets. He's got to make shots. They need him to be incorporated like he was last year, because he really sent them to the NBA Finals when he went off in that Game 6 in OKC when Golden State was done. And OKC was headed to the NBA Finals. And that changed, of course, instantly because OKC lost. Klay Thompson and Golden State went to the finals. And now he's on Golden State, Durant, and now they're all together. And it's going to be interesting to see. They get past San Antonio, and then you have Durant versus LeBron, and LeBron hasn't really had to go up against anyone really. Nobody his size. He finally goes up against this guy his size, not his strength, but somebody that's a star that wants to win as bad as he does, and you have Curry and Thompson, but now LeBron has his other pieces. So it's not really a mismatch. Cleveland's actually playing better than Golden State. Golden State would have to try to get to that series. They would have to try to get to a seventh game. Because Cleveland could get them out in 5 or 6. But if it gets to 7, I believe somehow, some way, Durant and Curry and that crowd. Golden State better be lucky they got home court advantage this particular series. They didn't take advantage of it last year because of the suspension, and Cleveland went on a roll after suspension and all the nonsense about Draymond Green and LeBron. It was just it was messy. It was great competition, but it was messy. This year, I think both teams are going to be, you won't see any suspensions. Both teams will just be going for it, going for the title. And if you're Golden State, you got it somehow. You're going to have to win a game in Cleveland. I don't think you're going to get those first 2 at home against Cleveland. You have to figure out how to win a game in Cleveland, and then have Game 5 2-2. Try to work how to win in Game 5, and once you do that, you're up 3-2. Now you're okay with the opportunity to finish in 7, because you're probably not going to win Game 6. Major League Baseball. The standings are normal. Houston, Minnesota's still up there. Cleveland's still hanging around. The Yankees and Baltimore are fighting. The Nationals, the Brewers, who beat Chicago. The Brewers are surprised. The Cardinals are slowing down a little bit. I'm not sure what to make of the Cubs yet, because we had a trade deadline. Colorado still in first place with Arizona, and the Dodgers are all kind of, it's early, so we don't know how that's going to shake down. The only team that surprised me is the Boston Red Sox. Boston being 21-20 surprised me, and they got beat by the A's yesterday, who were 19-23 in last place. The A's beat the Red Sox. I don't know if they just went out there thinking they were going to expect to win, and because of Sale and David Price is hurt. We don't know how it's going to be this year. I don't know. Boston might be that team that underachieved this year. Maybe they're not as hungry. The Yankees are young and hungry. They lost yesterday, but they're going to be around for a while with that young talent. Before I go, I want to talk about the Terrance Crawford. I'm excited about. I got to cover Terrance Crawford's fight with Felix Diaz for the 140-pound belt. And I interviewed both fighters. I'm going to put it on. And when I YouTube the show, I'm going to put it on at the end of this show, these interviews. Diaz is confident. And Crawford's confident. Diaz is confident where he's both about what he's going to do. Because he was at the Olympic. He doesn't have a gold medal in the Olympics. Crawford, on the other hand, is just quiet. Right? One sentence, not really a man of a lot of words. He just said, I'm going to win. I mean, I talked to his manager, and we talked about how super competitive this kid is. And I think Crawford pulls out the win. He's taller, and he's got a good jab. He can go right-handed or left-handed. He can do it both ways, and he does it well. He doesn't do it in a sloppy way like most fighters. And he's just solid. And the sky's the limit. He could fight like Chico. He can move up and fight Porter or Porter Spence. He's got Broder, Giovanni, Robert Easter. He's got the world by the strings. And he's going to look to win tonight and then unify the titles, and then who knows. But it's on to the next show. Look forward to seeing you Monday.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check, in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.